At one point during the surge, the United States was holding 27,000 Iraqis. Today, that number is 17,000. They haven't been charged with crimes, but are being held as security detainees, a legal classification that will cease to exist on January the 1st, when the United States military's UN mandate expires. But for those already swept up in the American system, there is no clear way out.
أنا عندي 5 بالسجن والله العظيم 5 والله وهسه أريد أواجه واحد منهم عاد واحد صار له سنة وذولا صار لهم شهرين 4 سوا خذوهم جو عليهم لقوا نايمين يابا شكوا شو مسوين ما مسوين قالوا ندس عليكم ندس يجوز واحد يكره يجوز واحد يسوي يعني هيك يعني أبرياء هيك يحطونهم بالسجن.
فمن ضمنهم واحد يعني شاف الاستئناف ماله ماكو تهمه ما عنده تهمه التهمه كل شيء ماله قال يابا شو انا ما كاتب يده تهمه قال له تعال المترجم خطف قتل تخويف المواطنين لا ماكو لا ادله لا صور مثلا لا سلاح لا مثلا فد شاهد عليه اي لا كل شيء ماكو.
اخذونا الساعه ب 12 بالليل اعتقلوا من منطقه 500 لان كان عندهم ضابط امريكي مقتول بنفس الشارع مالتنا بشارع عمر بن عبد العزيز.
يعني ما اجوا على اسماء يعني بس اخذوا ال4 صفطونا سرى اخذوا ال4 بالمقدم على قد السياره هيك وعافوا ال3.
They would just get a tip from some guy, you know, so-and-so has missiles under his chicken coop, and they'd pass this to us, and we'd, you know, rush out and do a raid. Anybody tells us anything, we just react immediately and run out and never find anything. Never.
If somebody doesn't like their neighbor for some reason, all he's got to do is come in and say, this guy plants IEDs. We never knew, and even our strongest cases were not that strong. Usually it was just, this name, he doesn't like Americans, and he plants IEDs. End of statement. We never really trusted any of our sources wholeheartedly.
أنا ما عندي مو بس أنا يعني لو تشوف بوكا إحنا حوالي بحدود 23 ل 22 ألف معتقل هناك. يعني إذا تحسبهم ما بيهم 10% مذنبين والباقي كلهم أبرياء.
The guilt or innocence isn't what's at stake here in the security detainee operation. The conduct that led to your detention doesn't necessarily have to be criminal to justify being a security threat.
So that means there's not enough evidence to mount a case against anyone here.
What's being found is it's another level, it's another determination that's being made, and with a totally different authority. So the United Nations is coming up with this overarching determination of whether or not they're an imperative security threat.
That argument was rejected squarely by the US Supreme Court. The way the system works now is that you don't have any of the rights that you would have in a criminal proceeding here. The right to counsel, the right to confront your accusers, the right to any exculpatory evidence the government has. There's no definitions.
The idea is not to tie the hands of the ground troops.
A lot of Marines had this idea that everybody was the enemy. You know, if they weren't directly responsible, then they were all in the same bed together. And you know, so therefore there was nothing wrong with just going ahead and arresting everybody in a whole city block.
The Minfrick board is their first opportunity to speak to the board and clarify any ambiguities, talk about anything that's in the file that needs to be discussed.
There is no access to them for counsel. The detainee appears before them. This is somebody who's been detained for months, if not years.
Your file indicates that you were involved with 5 items of misconduct: hiding a weapons cache, attacking.
They have very little capacity to think through and present a case for themselves, you know, without evidence, without witnesses. And so the chances that if you've made an initial detention decision, that you're going to correct it through one of these boards seems pretty minimal.
Do you know anything about these items that were found near to where you were captured?
He said, I don't know anything about them. All of these accusations are lies, and I'd like to finish my school.
Well, you're young, you got plenty of time to catch up.
ومثلا متزوج وعندي طفل وعندي عائلة وهذا ومعتمدين يعني تقريبا نص علي. ف6 أشهر أنا تأذيت بها.
داينة وباعة وحاول يعني أعيش عيشة بسيطة كلش. يعني ما بيلي شيء، يعني ما بيلي شيء أسوي. أنا الحمد لله شكر إنه طلعت يعني طلعت سالم ما بيها شيء. ما بيلي شيء أسوي.
I think you cannot establish the rule of law in a country in which you are engaged in massive, lawless detentions. Just not possible.
هذول جهالي وهذول جهال أخوي المعتقل. لا ضارب أمريكا، لا متعدي على أحد، لا بايق، لا سالب، من الشارع. شنو ذنبه يعني؟ شنو ذنبنا إحنا؟ ليش هذا الظلم يعني؟ ليش؟